name. Now, do I want mute or on or no?
Yeah, mute your microphone. You want to be muted in Zoom, and you want your speakers on your computer. Okay, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay. Thank you for handling the technical difficulties are resolved. Another
Almost resolved.
technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties are really resolved this time. Okay. So, thank you. I would like to call to order the meeting of the Monroe County Solid Waste Management District Board of Directors Executive Committee meeting for Monday, November 28, 2022. And we will start with the roll call for attendance.
Munson,
Yes, here.
Piedmont Smith,
Here.
Kissens. You have a quorum.
Okay. So let's begin with our motion for forwarding the executive committee meeting minutes.
Approval of the executive committee meeting minutes of October 31st, 2022.
To be forwarded to the board.
We get to approve them.
Oh,
Yeah.
ECM minutes, yeah.
Yeah, these you approve, and then we just provide to the board for information.
right.
We need a second.
I'll second. We don't have our usual seconder here.
So I made just a few typo corrections.
And I
In
saw
the
those and
box.
I made just one. So
Okay.
they're good in the Dropbox. Okay. All in favor of approving these minutes, say aye. Aye. Motion passes. Oh, do we have to do a roll call from you?
No, there's nobody's participating electronically,
Okay.
and it's not a financial matter.
Okay. We have the board minutes from November 10th.
That we forward the board of director minutes from November 10th to the full board for approval.
A second. Any comments or questions? I made a few changes, very minor.
Yeah, I just did some minor editing as well.
There was, from the end, there was a little word omission or a word left over. So.
Well, after 8 pages, you kind of just get ready to be done.
Yes, we're done. Okay. All in favor of forwarding these minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Now we get to hear from our controller. Hello, Miss Holly.
Hello. Because we are at the end of the month, don't have anything to report at this time for cash flows. And also I'm learning the job. Connie and I are working on the end of year necessities, and for the next board meeting on, I believe, the 8th, we will have cash flow answers for you.
Is there anything else that's involved for end of the year financial work at the district?
As opposed to previous years, or?
No, just in,
Well,
as opposed to other months.
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we have, there's an end of year reconciliation. There's a
Mhm.
handful of reporting requirements for the state
Okay.
that have to be uploaded in the gateway. Due dates between January 31st and March 30th, March
Okay.
31st.
So
But,
truly after the end of the year.
yeah,
Really.
yeah,
Okay.
they want
Good to know.
end of year numbers and totals and stuff. So
So thank you. I just didn't know exactly what was involved. So if there's nothing else, we will move on to the report from the,
I would like to say, if I could,
sure.
I am fully capable of doing all of the things, skills, reports that are required for this job. I need some time to learn, and I learn very well. So I just want, I don't want for you all to lose faith in me. I'm here. I want to do this for this community.
Why would we lose faith in you? You seem to be doing fine.
I just want to be able to do it the fastest, the strongest, and I want to be on top all the time.
Well,
Good.
it takes time to learn any
It
job,
does,
so
yes.
don't feel bad
And
about that.
particularly when you, end of year's a once a year thing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So
You
thank you
know,
all for
and-
being patient with me, and I promise you, your patience will be well rewarded with a strong employee.
I have no doubt. Thanks, Holly.
Thank you, Holly. So, we just take it for granted that everything's going along great, don't we?
Yes, we do.
That's it.
Well, I'm
We
definitely
should,
not.
maybe we shouldn't, but we do.
I'm definitely
we-
not saying
we
things
count on
going
it.
bad. I just know that in the department, we're having to work pretty hard to make sure that things happen for the end of the year. And I know that my superiors are taking a lot in my training, and they should be rewarded for that.
Well, I think that's only natural the first time around.
Yes, and I think it's really good for more than one person in a small office to know what needs to be done.
Oh, I
There
agree.
has to be
Yeah.
multiple trained people.
But if I know how to do it, I can't claim ignorance.
That's right. That's the point.
So,
Thank you.
thank you, Holly. So let's hear the district's report, please.
well, this was just an item relating back to, I think, some discussions that we've had at the last couple of meetings about, I think it started, Ms. Piedmont Smith had asked about the debt service bond and when that would be paid off, and how much
Mhm.
was remaining to be paid. And then that just kind of broadened into some other discussions about the Republic contracts, and that maybe it would be nice for the board to get an update on a number of things. And so I just kind of wanted to touch base with the committee and make sure that we hit on those items, those issues that the committee felt the board would appreciate a status update on, in essence. So, I mean, that's, we have to.
Okay.
Yeah, so the closure bond debt
Mhm.
in the cash flow, if we could have the amount that we still owe somewhere on that report.
Yeah, and again, we talked about that at the board meeting, and it's because that's, that amount will only change twice a year.
Yeah.
So we only make 2 payments a
But
year.
it doesn't
so
stay in my head for 6 months.
It
so.
doesn't? Apparently it doesn't mine either, because I didn't know. And then we talked about the Republic contracts, in particular, the hauling and recycling and transportation, that the initial term expires on May 1. Do we want to make the board aware that that is expiring and maybe review what the termination clause in the contract is,
What the requirements.
what the
Yeah.
requirements are, and that obviously without cause can't terminate prior to the end of the initial term, but based on legal's interpretation, with proper notice at any point during a renewal term, we can terminate.
Which would be within 120 days.
120 days, yeah.
Did we discuss at our November 16th meeting that we would wait until January to discuss it with the board as far as
Well, it's
long-term planning and
as far as-
RFP?
Yeah, planning, and I guess that's one of the reasons to ask, is that something, or do we just want to hold this broad update until the January meeting? Or do you want me to give, present something at the December meeting, and then that's kind of the purpose of this, is what do you want me to touch on at that meeting? So we can give them we can just, we can put it all off till January, or we can leave the Republic agreements out till January, or if you want me to present something in December, we can give them the initial term expiration, what the requirements are for terminating the contract during a renewal term, and put off, if there's going to be any discussion about whether or not the district would want to opt out of that contract at some point after May 1st, we can put that off until January, or even later, because maybe some of that also depends on what happens with regard to Rumpke's facility opening on time. We have the second agreement that requires us to try to enter into a host fee agreement with Rumpke. Republic, I'm sure, will have a response to whatever agreement we put in place. So, there's a number of factors that play into planning or strategizing for the district moving forward. I guess in an environment with two facilities, and I guess there's we can be active, proactive, try to move that forward in the manner that we want, or we can kind of wait and be reactive based on whatever actions or lack of action is taken by one or both of the entities running those two facilities.
Well, I thought when we discussed this, we didn't feel that we had enough knowledge about how firm Rumpke was in their plans for when they opened.
To my knowledge, they're still looking at March. I've not heard anything from any of them that they've had any issues, delays, and so they anticipate that facility being up and running and open sometime
And
in March.
do they need any permits here, there, or anywhere?
Permitting is all done, to my knowledge.
It's all done. They're just ready to
The only thing I can
open
think,
the door.
the only thing I could think of is when before they open, weights and measures will certify their scale. So that'll still have to be done. I'm not positive, but it would seem to me it'd be logical that the building department may walk through and verify the building was built to the specifications that were approved. Planning similarly may, do
Planning doesn't do so much.
so, well, but I mean, I imagine there has to be some sort of as-built certification or something. I know that when we did stuff at the land, not quite apples and apples, but when we did stuff at the landfill, sometimes things happen. You had to deviate from the plan and submit modified plans, and then at the end of it, the state came in and said, we're okay with everything.
So there was a state action for the landfill.
Mhm.
Would there be for a transfer station?
Yeah, I guess thinking about it, I guess that there would, because it is a state permit. So the state, Department of Environmental Management similarly would want to sign off that this is, when it's all built and ready to open, that, and say, this is what we permitted.
So could you reach out to Rumpke and just, I mean, just because you haven't heard that there's a delay doesn't really
No, I
mean-
can. I mean,
I mean,
it's,
they may not tell you, so
it's
can you
been
just
less than, it's
confirm?
been less than 2 months since I talked with
Right.
somebody about
Yeah,
it.
And
a lot
the-
can happen in 2 months.
And the guy who was gonna come to all our meetings hasn't been.
Yeah,
Yeah,
We
well,
just
he did
missed that
for
last
two.
one.
Is it just the last one?
He was at September and October.
Okay.
yeah, if you could check with them, I think that would be helpful. And I think now that you describe, the context, and even though we did say on November 17th or 16th that we wanted to wait for the discussion of how to move forward until January, it does seem wise to give all board members a heads up of here's what's happening, here's the context.
Mhm.
Just kind of a report, and then
And then.
we'll have discussion in January.
Okay, so we want to do the debt bond, even though I sent all that in the email, just put it up there publicly. Here's how much is left.
Well, if you
Yeah.
could just make it a routine part of that cash
The
flow
admin,
report.
oh, the cash flow report, okay. But then for the board, you want, give them a status, an update on where our 2 agreements with Republic sit. Kind of the terms to terminate those agreements, and where Rumpke sits with regard to their schedule and opening their facility, their building. Was there anything else?
We used to get a report of what we've paid, or what we've taken in. Is it paid? No, was it what we paid or what we got as host fee, or what we paid, I think,
Paid to
To-
Republic?
to Republic?
Yeah,
We used to have
and-
some kind of graph.
Yeah, similar, well, no, I guess it's not the same as the cash flow graph,
No.
because it's not a
there.
line, it's a bar graph. But
Mhm.
yeah, and we generally will include that with the claims approvals that are submitted when we have a claim for payment to Rumpke.
Mhm.
I think you said that.
So,
Okay.
Mhm.
So we'll probably see one for December. Because we didn't have one in November. I mean, at the November meeting.
Sometimes they.
yeah,
Sometimes they might miss 2 months even.
but yeah, a lot of it, well, yeah, they're pretty prompt on their invoicing. They're not so prompt on getting us all the supporting documentation.
Oh, so you're saying that's a report that comes from them, not
No,
that is generated by us?
it's a report from us. I've got it and I've been doing it, and I'll give it to you.
Okay.
It's just another one of those things. I've just tried to not overwhelm you and held back a little
Okay.
bit. Because all it is plugging a number in, the graph updates itself and you print it off.
Okay.
It's
So-
easy. So,
And then, yeah, and then that graph has about 5 years,
Yeah,
5 years side by
previous
side for each
year.
month to show
Mhm.
how 1 month compares to the same month in previous year.
Okay. Great. That's interesting. I like that. I would like to see that.
So I was, I was interested in, Angela's different take, on, options for working with Rumpke and Republic. And whether we should just take the initiative and be proactive, or just sort of wait to see what happens. And I lean towards being proactive.
It's
And
kind of a
I-
consensus.
I think we will need to lead the board based on our more full discussions with Lee and Angela. Don't you think so?
Yeah, and we, and I think that, we can be proactive without initiating notice and the initial timeline we discussed based on that initial term ending on May 1st. with the interpretation that the language basically allows the termination to occur at any point during a renewal term, just not during the initial term. So, so that kind of comes back into the construction update from Rumpke,
Mhm.
making sure they're on schedule.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the reason that the 120-day requirement is in there at our request, because whether we initiated it or Republic initiated it, we needed time to go through the proposal process.
Yeah.
So then it's a matter of with, you know, what Rumpke's schedule is and when does it make sense for the district to put that stuff out for bid or proposal.
It's possible that Republic will be the one that says they want to end their agreement with us.
And they may. You know, and then there's some, I guess, you know, the question, and it's really all just, you know, a matter of perception. You know, do we make that notice or should we make that notice before we advertise a bid or proposal to Republic?
I don't see why we need to. I mean,
No, we don't need to. I mean,
because
somebody,
if
somebody
all the
might
bids
get a,
come in, you know, are
right,
disadvantageous to us, we might just want to keep.
right,
what have.
we could continue on, exactly. And then you have the, and I think the other thing that was discussed, you know, we kind of have, for lack of a better term, two deadlines that we're looking at. You know, one being either May 1st or at whatever point us or Republic decide they want to terminate the hauling and transportation agreement. But then you also have the October, November 24 deadline when that the waste disposal agreement that has the host fee, I guess, like terminates. There are renewal options in there, but they're not automatic. Like the hauling and transportation agreement automatically renews if nobody notices. The waste disposal agreement that has the host fee, somebody has to initiate renewing that. I don't know.
So, I guess we would need another meeting to strategize what to bring to the board in January. Are we going to have an executive committee meeting late December or early January?
Well, that's one of my other items.
Is it? I was just reaching for my calendar.
Let me check and see. I don't know that we normally schedule that, because we don't know if that meeting will occur in December or January. Attendance.
I had that we met January 3rd this year.
Right, but when did we schedule that?
Oh.
So yeah, at the beginning of the year, when we set our schedule and made notice, the public notice, November 28th was the last meeting in that notice. Doesn't mean we can't meet, we need to schedule it, and I'll have to send notice to the HT.
What is it? Let me get,
So what was on our schedule as our first board meeting? The 12th?
Yeah, well, that's not scheduled as well. That's something that we'll have to ask the board to schedule at the December meeting. And then we've historically just set the January meeting because there's always the chance that city council, county council
right,
changes who the representative liaison is. So we've always just set the January meeting, and then at that January meeting, set the schedule for the rest of the year.
so tentatively, it's January 12th, right, that we would meet.
Right, which, and on our normal schedule, that would put the executive committee meeting as January 2nd.
Ew. What?
I'm here.
That's New Year's Day substitute.
Well, yeah, so this room wouldn't be available
Yeah,
Oh, is that a holiday?
for, yeah, so like I said, the district's,
maybe for the city too.
yeah, the district doesn't have
Yeah.
that as a holiday because
Because
doing observed holidays just makes that whole schedule more complicated. I got out of that habit,
So,
but we can do,
Tuesday?
yeah, we can do any time that week. Why don't I,
so I have a,
since Penny's not here, why don't I send an email out tomorrow
okay.
to the three of you? And we'll
See what we
we'll
can
get
do.
that scheduled via email.
I do have a 4:30 meeting on the 3rd.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be 5 o'clock. I
Yeah.
mean, we could meet in the morning if everybody's available.
You
It's not
did.
available.
That was a short retirement.
It's a very part-time job, but
It's a part-time job.
it could be, I gave my availability as the morning, so.
Okay, so you're not available in the morning. Okay, that's fine.
I mean, in general.
Okay.
I have to be available to work in the mornings.
Like I said, I think I'll send an email out tomorrow to the three of you, and
Okay.
we'll get that scheduled for sometime that first week of January. And even if it's Friday, I wouldn't want to do because that's when the packet would normally go out. But we can wait to do it Monday, but even if
We could do it Tuesday.
even if we
Wednesday,
do it
Thursday.
as late as Thursday, I don't foresee a heavy packet, a heavy agenda. So it's not not going to be hard to turn that around.
Well, and I think we would want legal counsel at that EC meeting. I think.
Okay.
Parker as well.
Yeah, I don't know if we need, do you think we need Ansel again?
We need both.
I'll
I
talk.
think
I'll talk to
Lee.
Lee.
Lee would be fine.
I'll
think
talk
just
to
Lee.
Lee and see what his comfort level is after that last meeting.
Okay.
So, because I think starting the new year, the board will want to know, okay, so this is going to happen sometime during this year. And
Well,
what do we need to know?
and I think for me, the bigger picture, the bigger, item there is that host fee. And whether it's in 23 or at the end of 24, in all likelihood, that $250,000 a year is going away. That's
But Rumpke said they were willing to pay it.
well, they were. And if we come up with an agreement with Rumkey that Republic can't poke holes in and find a reason, a justification for them to opt out, then like Isabel said, then in late 2024, the agreement's going to expire anyway, and I don't know that they're going to renew it. I don't know that they're
So
going
I mean, I'm inclined to try to nail down something with Rumpke
Well, we need to.
so that we have it.
If we can't nail down something with Rumkey, then it's going to go away sooner. If we can nail down something with Rumkey, we at least have till the end of 24.
Well, at our last EC meeting, we were thinking of
And
an
what-
RFP that included not just the host fee, but everything, right? That included
Yes, that's what we
hauling,
talked
recycling,
about.
host fee, gate rate. and
Right, right.
Yes, and so that was the proactive approach, and that's
Right.
where I lean.
Okay, and then now the other, I guess, the other thing to consider in all of this too, which I think lends itself more to being proactive in this, is that, our, on the hauling side, our current agreement with Republic is top notch, given where fuel costs are right now.
Yes, I remember that,
On the recycling side, it sucks.
but it's pretty hard. It's pretty hard to make the recycling side, bring in more, and it's very easy to make the cost of
Well,
Holly,
yeah, one thing that
go
I've,
up. Very
one,
easy to do
one
that.
thing that I have thought about that, as I tend to do, it makes things overly complicated, but, you know, in the proposal, you know, we put something in there, you know, request or require that respondents identify thresholds in the recycling market, at which point they'll give a rebate. There'll be no rebate, no charge, and then there'll be a charge based on where commodity prices are at any given point in time during the course of whatever agreement we enter into with them. And that way we're not stuck like, you know, what 3 years ago, we entered into this agreement with Republic and the markets were tanked. So we were paying for everything. Well, plastic has stayed down, but, you know, cardboard in particular and some of the other fiber paper products, those rebounded. And lots of districts over the past year were getting money for those materials and we were paying.
Hmm.
So, you know, I mean, that, again, that makes that whole proposal and the review it makes it all complicated as well as the contract. But, you know, that's probably the best way to protect the district with regard to whatever our cost is going to be to manage or to operate recycling programs over the course of that agreement with whoever it is with.
Say that again?
I think that's the best way to protect the district. It makes the process more complicated with the bids or proposals and negotiating a contract, but getting those market thresholds put in there protects the district so that, you know, we're not paying while everybody else is getting money.
But we're getting into details now that we probably don't need to get into quite yet. I mean, those should be on the agenda for the next PC meeting, it seems like. Because there are some other things I wanted to get to today.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. And that's, yeah, that until we're, yeah, none of that stuff really matters until we make a decision that we're ready to issue a request. Okay, you got 15 minutes. You
Do
said
have
6
other
o'clock
things
is the
you want to
deadline.
Get to today.
Yes.
Yes, please.
So we had talked about the health insurance plan, trying to get it to start January 1.
Yes.
Mhm.
So where are we with that? We
Uh,
were gonna ask for new quotes, weren't we?
and I got those, and IU Health made an error that I caught, unfortunately.
Whoa.
An error in our favor?
It was, well, it was in favor of those employees that were on the HSA plan. They did not, so, well, they didn't calculate the out-of-pocket increase correctly. So, but what we're looking at, and I apologize, I don't have the numbers right off the top of my head, but the out-of-pocket max for both plans, single and family, is increasing. It's not humongous, but it's $1,500, $2,000
$1,500 increase?
out-of-pocket increase. The out-of-pocket max, what you have to pay. However, the premiums are going down 1.1% if we renew on October 1st.
Oh. The premiums go down if we renew on October 1st.
Mhm.
But if we carry it over into January, the premiums are going to go up.
Well, no, that's just if the premiums are what they are, and if we don't
Oh,
renew everything to have October or have January 1 as our renewal date, then the premiums are what they are through October, or we can do this again at any point. But January 1 is the only day it makes sense for me to reschedule to. So the numbers that I got are, you know, the premiums will go down 1.1%. Let me see, I may have it.
I'm
They-
sorry.
No, it's,
I think you just said this, but is this a new quote for January 1st effective date, or is this what we're now paying as of October?
no, this is the new quote to be effective January 1.
Okay,
And the 1.1% decrease is based on what we're currently paying as of October 1.
okay.
And so what was paid out in October, they're gonna credit us for, right? The additional money that,
No,
no,
no, because we're, in essence, what we're doing is they're letting us terminate or opt out of our existing policy and start a new policy on January 1. So what we've paid, and that is for the insurance coverage from October through
through
December. Yeah.
And they're going to maintain the HSA option?
Mhm. Yep.
So I don't know how to compare out-of-pocket increase and premium decrease. What to make of
I
that?
think it's like apples and oranges, basically. They give you one thing and then they take away another.
Yeah, I mean, and it's, the out-of-pocket max is, it's really only a factor if you have I mean, if you're hospitalized or have a surgery, or, yeah, I mean, that basically means that you're having
Oh, out-of-pocket.
thousands of dollars of claims. So, so on the PPO plan,
It's not the deductible that's going up, it's the maximum. Okay.
right, the
Well, that's-
deductibles are staying the same. The out-of-pocket max is going up on the PPO plan, going up $400 for a single plan, $800 for the family plans. And the HSA is going up $1,400 on the single plan. And that's the one they messed up, was the family plans on the HSA. I think it's going up from 11,200 to 14,000.
Again, that's out of pocket for
Uh,
catastrophic events, right?
14,400. So, and then the other thing to remember is that on the HSA plan, once you have met the deductible, then it acts just like a PPO plan. On the HSA plan, the employee is responsible for 100% of medical claims up to the deductible amount. And then you do the 80-20 split, where the employee pays 20% and the insurance pays 80%.
20% can come from their health savings account.
If they have any left after they've met the deductible, which right now, for the first couple of years, that nobody's gonna have that much money in the HSA account. But those are just things that the employees have to consider when they decide which plan that they want.
So were you planning to move ahead with the change to a January start date? And then what effect does it have on the employees? They have to make new choices, or they just get rolled over to the new plan?
They'll actually have options to make new choice. It'll be JA Benefits described it to me that it would be just, we would just do it'd be an open enrollment period. So employees would have the option to change plans again. Now, what happens if somebody that went with the HSA goes back to the PPO? What happens to that HSA money? District may be outed. I don't know, because that's their money according to the law. That's their account and stays with them, even if they leave the district, go to a place that doesn't have an HSA plan, they still have. Yeah. So, so there might be a little bit of a risk there for the district if everybody jumped ship and went back to the PPO plan based on the out-of-pocket costs going up or something. But
Is this something you need board action on?
I don't believe so, because
I mean, because the premium is actually going down, it's well
Gotta
within
be
the
within
budget.
yeah.
Now when it,
Yeah,
when it comes time to do next year's budget, if everything's gone through the roof, then the board can come down on me for making a dumb decision.
well,
Well,
why?
Well,
Yeah,
I don't, I mean, I don't, I mean,
how would that happen?
well, if you disagreed with me switching over to the 1/1 renewal or something, but
Well, it would have supposed to be the employees complaining. It wouldn't cost the district more unless it's
No,
in
and it-
morale or
yeah,
something.
and no, and it wouldn't, and yeah, and even if we hadn't have made the change, those increases were still gonna hit. Yeah, I mean, insurance rates are what they are, and
I think it was a good decision to offer that to the employees.
so,
So, but the October agreement was good for a year, right?
yes.
At the lower maximum out of pocket. But also at the higher, slightly higher premiums. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea to get with the January 1st cycle.
It makes everything is a package if you know more at budget time. I think.
well, it will, yeah, I mean, it's still, we're still not gonna have any, numbers to base a budget on. Because insurance
But-
companies don't give you those quotes that far, 6 months in advance. It's still gonna be, it's still gonna be a guessing game, but, my reasoning for doing it was that, is that it's hard to bring, the health, JA benefits, our benefit administrator in and do open enrollment in September and say, okay, here's what the new pricing is going to be. And on October 1st, your insurance premium deduction from your paycheck is going to go up $50, but your pay increase isn't going to hit till January 1.
Yeah,
Yes. And that's a big deal.
And
to
so
the
that
employees.
was kind of my purpose of trying to get back onto a January 1 renewal.
All right, well, I move on to my next topic if
Yes,
you think this
please.
one is. Have the new positions been posted? Or what's the?
We got them posted at all of our facilities today. Got it sent off to Lambert Consulting to get it put up on the website. And then tomorrow we'll look at doing ZipRecruiter or Indeed. I forget, I got to look back at how we did that with the controller position. I wasn't happy with the pricing on one of them, and I don't want to do that one again because we
I
didn't
think
get
it was indeed.
the response from that site like we did the other one, and we paid a chunk of money because they charged per day.
But you got me, so hopefully.
Well,
that
I'm not
one's
saying it
okay.
wasn't worth it. I'm just saying there's a better way to do it. And then, and like somebody, it's been mentioned about contacting O'Neill. So I'll also try to find somebody at O'Neill to contact to see if we can get them to post it somewhere.
Okay.
And just, yeah, just, have Elisa put something on Facebook referring people back to our webpage once that gets put up there. And,
Okay.
I'm not inclined to put it in the newspaper.
I don't see why you would. How about LinkedIn?
Yeah, I did that with the controller one through my personal LinkedIn. The district doesn't have a
Yeah.
LinkedIn, but I will.
I think that would be good.
And this one will actually resonate more with some of my LinkedIn connections because they tend to be more of the waste industry, environmental
Okay.
professionals,
Is there,
and
is
finance
there,
professionals.
is there a group of, is there a professional group that you're part of that has anything?
Email list or something?
Well, I was gonna, the association will promote job openings for its members,
Okay.
which I will do. I'm going to do that. I hate feeling like I'm poaching other districts' employees, but
But they may,
Maybe somebody's downsizing. I don't
So,
know.
well, or yeah, but see, I was gonna, Kim's, the consultant that runs that association, I was gonna send it to her. So, but yeah, we'll kind of try to cast as far and wide a net as we can and see how fast we can get things moving. And you had offered to be a part of the review interview committee. I did not see anybody else oppose that or jump up and say me too. So once we start getting candidates in, I'll loop you in to help review and decide who we want to interview. You want to be looped in too?
it's fine. You don't need everybody.
Well, my last point, Tom McGlasson, performance review. How is that?
That is stuck on a different computer. I will hope to get some progress on it.
Yeah, it'd be nice to
Because
get
you're the
that
only
done.
one that has all of that
I
stuff.
do have it.
Unless,
It's
do
there.
you want me to ask Connie? Because didn't she,
Because there's a lot of paper, lots and lots of paper. It's not very electronic.
but didn't
But
Connie?
you're saying it's on your computer.
Yeah, some of it's on the computer.
Okay. But some of it you got hard copies.
Yeah, some of it's paper.
Right,
So,
but the stuff on your computer, isn't that stuff that got brought into the office that Connie sent you? So I can ask Connie to
yes,
resend that
or
stuff to
or
you.
some of it was sent to me.
Oh, some got emailed directly to you.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
So it's just a matter of me finding time to just sit and ferret it out. That's what's going on.
Okay.
We collected feedback from board members, CAC members, employees in
Yeah,
early June, I think the deadline was.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
So-
it probably doesn't matter now,
No, it doesn't matter.
but I can tell you that he is the best boss that I've ever had.
Well, that, okay, we'll write that down.
Gold star.
We'll write that down.
He
Says-
works
says-
so hard and
Says the
he
woman who's
always-
worked for herself for 20 years.
He works so hard and he is always patient
Oh.
with me no matter how busy he is. And I couldn't ask for a better boss. So
Well,
there
thank
go.
you.
On this one, it probably doesn't matter, but we can maybe put that down somewhere for future reference.
Is there has the district ever had any kind of employee appreciation event or holiday get together or
We used
something?
to.
Yeah, I mean, when I
Mhm.
first started, at least my first year there, if not my first 2 years, they actually did a thing at the country club. And that-
Whoa,
Fancy.
That's
Well,
right across
that's
from
a-
my house. That's
my
where I live.
understanding was that because the landfill was running then, and they had money coming in from the vending machines at the landfill that had no strings attached to it. We could use it for whatever purpose we wanted.
There were vending machines.
Yeah. And so that's how they funded those. And then when the landfill closed, that money dried up because the vending machines went away. And we've done, not every year. We are doing one again, Connie and Stephanie, who's the office manager for the extension offices. They've kind of coordinating, and we are doing a holiday pitch-in combined for both offices this
Just
year.
for admin.
Well, no, we're having all the
Yeah.
recycling employees
Good.
are
Oh,
being
good.
invited
Everybody.
and everything.
Oh,
And,
that's
Yeah.
nice.
I think it's great. I'm trying to figure out what to make. I need to.
we're even gonna drag Scott Morgan down for it, so.
Oh, good.
So yeah, so we do that, but as far as,
because I can remember a couple of them
yeah,
when,
but as, as far as, the board doing something, to recognize, employees, that hasn't happened in some time.
I can remember being as part of the dinner, so food or something.
I don't know. My,
before you were director?
well, that
What
could
is-
be, I know we did some, when Larry was director, we did some holiday pitch-ins
Mhm.
and I don't know if it was just Larry or if the board pitched in or, but I mean, Larry usually furnished a turkey for that.
Wow.
Mhm.
And then the first Christmas that I was the director, we actually kind of solicited some donations from vendors and stuff and got enough gift certificates from Kroger to do money or to do food and enough cash donations to rent the commercial building at the fairgrounds. And we did.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that sounds like
So
kind of.
we did a
big
holiday
deal.
Yeah.
holiday party out there that
That's great.
that was not very well attended, so I
Yeah.
didn't do it
Yeah.
again.
Didn't do it
So-
again? I think it's probably better
So,
at your offices.
Where you're working,
Yeah,
because people are kind of tied to there.
Well, they are. but for some of us, it's nice to do something and not have to go back to work.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true too.
that's true.
When is the pitch at happen?
The
Next,
8th.
yeah, next Thursday.
Before the board meeting?
No, it's for lunch. So I think it starts at like
I
11:30.
think it's like, yeah, noon or 11:30.
But now they said I'll send an email out to the whole board tomorrow and just let them know that's going on. And you're welcome to stop by
And pitch.
and
Mhm.
eat some lunch or just say hi to everybody or whatever fits your schedule.
No, I'm not working.
If you don't mind me asking, what is your new job?
I'm an assistant baker at Crumble.
Really?
How fun is that?
Glad for that. That is so awesome.
Wait a second.
Now for
If
something
you're
really
an
different,
assistant
right?
baker at Crumble, we know what you might pitch.
Yeah, I haven't.
There we go.
I
We
get
found
free
dessert.
coffee, but I don't know if I get a discount on it.
I'm not a baker. That's just not my thing. I'm not
They
that
can call it a
patient.
donation to the district and write it off.
Oh, that's true.
I'm a little reluctant as my first, one of my first things as a new employee.
My
That's
first
great.
idea.
By the way,
I love that so much. That's actually one of my goals is to, and again, as I say, I'm not a baker, I'm more of a, I like to say chef, but I'm not there yet. So probably a prep cook. But I'd like to, and I have done that in the past, but I'd like to have the time
You're
to
a
take
sous
on.
chef.
Yes, exactly. I'd like to have the time to take on a part-time job at some point in my life and kind of follow that fantasy. I used to work in the restaurants. That was just pay the bills. I'd like to do it to just do it because it's something that I just want to
This is
do.
a,
Yes.
I was always a sous chef to my dad.
Yeah. What did he like to cook?
He cooked just parties for family and friends and
Oh,
just
yeah?
do big productions.
Excellent.
Then I'd have to clean up.
Oh, yeah. I've been the bus person too, and the dishwasher.
are we done?
Yes, I was just waiting to ask if you had other things. Okay, so we are done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We will adjourn.